wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant, I don't even...
Hey y'all, how we doing? This your favorite big back broadcaster back at it again. It's your boy Derek, episode 47 coming at you live, and we got on the agenda week 15 NFL Pickems. Now, let's jump right into it. Rams, Niners. Now at the start of the season, this would have been a phenomenal matchup. You'd have Stafford, Cup, Atwell, Demarcus Robinson, shout out former Ravens legend Demarcus Robinson, I say sarcastically. And then on the other side, you have Brock Purdy, who I will say, until he proves me wrong and does it in another system, that he is a system quarterback. You could put any quarterback in a Shanahan system and it should work. At least this Shanahan, because I just remembered. But we're not going to talk about that. And no, that's not this jersey. This is an Odell Beckham jersey. Why? We'll get into it when we cover this game. Now, Purdy, even though I say that about Purdy, he did put up 36 points for me in fantasy, which is greatly appreciated. However, all of the Niners running backs, including the one they just called up, are injured. It's getting to the point where you're going to have to put Deebo Samuel back at running back. Which isn't really a bad idea. Ayuk is out. Kittle's still doing his thing. I think Bosa's hurt. Kittle sold me 2 weeks ago, though, in fantasy. But I digress. For some odd reason, something is telling me to pick the Niners to win this game, and that is what we are doing. Commanders, Saints. Now, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but this should be, I don't know if he's played yet, but this could be or should be the debut for former Saints quarterback Marshawn Lattimore. However, I love the things the Commanders are doing. New ownership, new QB, better ingredients, better pizza. No, I'm playing. Better recipe for success, though. That said, I am taking the Commanders to win this game. Chiefs and the Browns. Now, this is a game where I'd be okay with it being a tie. The Browns are a division rival. One of the two that I can't stand, mainly because of the fan base. Not sorry. The Chiefs have lucked their way into all of, if not most of, their wins. You won the division on a doink. On a doink. That said, the Chiefs are going to annihilate the Browns. Bengals, Titans. Now, the Bengals just won Monday Night Football last night against the Cowboys, when in essence, and in reality, the Cowboys should have won that game. But they won on a blocked punt that the Cowboys tried to recover. Once the punt is blocked, don't try to recover it. Don't try to play hero ball. Correction, don't go forward. Me and my boss were talking about this earlier. It's crazy. That said, I got the Bengals beating the Titans. Dolphins, Texans. Now, this is a more interesting matchup. On one side, you got Tua. You got, forget how to say his name. Avanci, something like that. Apologize if I butchered your name, my guy. On the other side, you got a struggling CJ Stroud. I believe he is in what we call a sophomore slump. Joe Mixon, Nico Collins, Tank Dell. You don't have Stephon Diggs. He tore his ACL earlier in the season. I'm a little sad about that because, like I have stated on this podcast many times, I am going to that game, Christmas Day, Texans-Ravens. Get to see Beyonce perform. Get to listen to Greg Olsen, not my first choice for broadcasting, but he's a former NFL player, so it makes sense. No disrespect to Greg Olsen, there's just a handful of broadcasters I like a bit better. I have the Texans winning this game. I don't know why, but something tells me to pick them. Baltimore, listen to me right now. The reason I am wearing this jersey, outside of Odell Beckham being one of my favorite receivers of all time and going to the college that I root for, the Ravens and the Giants play this Sunday. I believe the game is at the bank. If y'all come out of your bye week and in any way, shape, form get embarrassed by the New York Giants, there is going to be hell to pay. And I know y'all are like, who are you? You're just a fan. Yeah, you're right. But this should be a layup win. The Giants cannot stop the run anymore. Dexter Lawrence is out. Who's the quarterback right now? Drew Lock, and I think he's hurt right now. The Ravens, meanwhile, have let MV3. I'm not saying he's going to win it, but he definitely deserves to be in that conversation. Realistically, looking at it right now, if I had to pick MVP, it'd be between either non-QBs don't get it, but I would love to see that narrative change. You could put both Saquon, you could put Derrick Henry up there, you could put Lamar up there, you could put Josh Allen up there, you could put Jared Goff up there, just off a record alone. But we know record and stats are going to factor into it this season. The Ravens should come out, and I am predicting them to come out and smoke the Giants. Ravens by 20. Jets, Jaguars. Now the Jets still stands for just end the season, apparently, because they missed the playoffs for, I believe, now the 14th consecutive season. One of the longest playoff droughts in sports history. That said, the Jaguars have been an up and down team this year. We're still questioning whether Trevor Lawrence is that guy or not. I got the Jets winning this. Also, shout out to my boy who dropped Devontae Adams in our fantasy league, because I picked him right back up after trading him. And I'm trying to go on a run. I am trying to do something that is unheard of. I am trying to go 3-0 across all three leagues I'm in and get a clean sweep of fantasy playoff, fantasy chips, I should say. And Michael, Bubba, I know you watch the podcast, my guy. We're going to have fun come Christmas Day at that game. But right now, hope to see you in the championship game. Anywho, Cowboys-Panthers. Now this game is ass. There is no other way to put it. This game is going to be ass. But somebody has to win, and I got the Cowboys beating the Panthers. Now, here's a little tidbit for those of you who have been following this season, which is a vast majority, if not all of us. If you come in and lose to the Panthers, and you're a struggling team, the next step is firing your head coach. So hopefully, for the Cowboys faithful out there, y'all lose this game, and Jerry's like, you know what? McCarthy ain't the guy. Because he's not. Aaron Rodgers made Mike McCarthy. We're seeing it in real time right now. I was wrong about Brady, Belichick, one of them making the other. They both helped each other. But this one I'm not. Bucks, Chargers. Now this is the game on the slate where I'm like, either team could win, which is why I have a question mark right here. But mind over matter. I think the Buccaneers are a more disciplined football team. J.K. Dobbins is hurt right now. Herbert's dealing with some injury-related stuff. Give me the Bucks. Colts Broncos. Now, what can I say about the Colts and the Broncos? It's the Peyton Manning Bowl. And y'all want to hear a funny story? When I was first getting into football, I had a project my freshman year of high school. And it was pick a partner, and y'all had to do a project on iconic sibilants. So me and this kid, I want to say his name was David at the time. Well, his name's still David, but at the time of when this happened, we're doing a project on Eli and Peyton Manning. I'm like, all right, I know enough. I got this. What I did not know is that this was in the midst of free agency. So I'm sitting there. Peyton Manning is an Indianapolis. Peyton Manning signs with the Denver Broncos. Had to call an audible, redo the project. Still passed with an 85. Who am I picking to win this game, though? I think I'm leaning towards the Broncos. Bo Nix has been phenomenal. So much so that I picked him up as one of my fantasy quarterbacks over a struggling CJ Stroud. The Denver's defense is no joke. And Anthony Richardson, there's still questions on him. He's still a raw prospect. Pats Cardinals. Now, this is probably the easiest game that I could make a prediction for. The Cardinals are going to win this game. The Patriots are not there yet. They're still in a rebuild. Excuse me. Sorry about that. They are still in a rebuild. I got the Cardinals winning. Kyler Murray's going to probably have a somewhat decent game, which scares me because I'm going up against him in another fantasy league. The game, and I will say it again, the game of the week on this whole agenda is the Buffalo Bills against the Detroit Lions. Both of these teams are really good. The Lions' defense is somewhat falling apart. Not so much so to the where they don't know what they're doing. But on one side, you got Josh Allen. You got Amari Cooper. You got James Cook. And that's just on offense. You got guys on defense too, you know. DeMar Hamlin. I think Rosu plays for them still. But on the Lions side, you got Sonic and Knuckles. You got Williamson. You got Laporta. The Lions just signed Jamal Adams to their practice squad and called him up, so yeah. I got some guys on my fantasy team for that as well. However, I probably am dropping the Lions kicker because I ended up picking up Fairbairn in another league, and I think he's like the number 1 or number 2 kicker right now. So, gotta roll with what we got. Strike while the iron's hot. So we move on from that. There's another form of bowl, and this is gonna be the Pennsylvania Bowl. Now, the Pennsylvania Bowl is between the Steelers and the Eagles. Y'all are going to say I'm being a hater and say what you want, but I'm picking the Eagles to win this game. George Pickens is going to be out with his hamstring injury again. That's one of Russell Wilson's go-to targets. I think the Eagles are a phenomenal and a great football team. I think Saquon is probably going to go wild on that defense. Maybe I'm wrong, though, because the Steelers' defense did hold up pretty well against Derrick Henry. But the Eagles are winning this one. Bears-Vikings. Now, Sam Darnold, Jordan Addison, and Jefferson were playing bully ball out there. So much so that one of my friends thought that they were going to win the fantasy playoff matchup. They didn't. They did not. Sorry about that, y'all. They did not win their fantasy football matchup. Instead, my boy Harith came back. Put up 200 something points in fantasy. So that's the main concern in that league. Falcons Raiders on Monday Night Football. Bit of a underwhelming Monday Night Football game, but I got the Falcons winning over the Raiders. O'Connell is hurt. Devontae Adams doesn't play there anymore. What the hell is that team doing? Meanwhile, the Falcons got Bijan Robinson. They got Darnell Mooney. They got Drake London. They got Pitts. Stuff coming up on the podcast, because this has been your Week 15 NFL Pickems. We are going to try, I'm not going to promise anything, but we are going to try and do a Saturday night main event prediction video if I can get it out in time. We will also be doing college football. I'm announcing it right here. I announced it on one of the Twitter pages, and I think I announced it on community notes, but we are going to be doing a college football bracket Pickems. So we'll do round 1, then we'll do round 2, then once we get to the final, bit of it, and that will be more content to come. Once we get into the new year, I would like to start covering women's sports more. So that's going to be your WNBA, anything with a notable woman athlete, or female athlete, I should say. That sounds a lot more professional. Kobe Bryant player profile / tribute video will be posted probably on the day of his anniversary of his passing, because I wasn't able to get to that earlier in the year. That said, we are doing a giveaway for a mini helmet of your choosing from either your NFL or your college team. Once this channel right here, where you see this big white guy who's dressed like a rapper from the 2000s, right here, hi. Once y'all see this channel reach 500 subscribers is when we will do that. Other than that, I probably will be uploading the Christmas Pickems a little bit earlier, because I will be out of town. I will be in Houston that day, watching the game. That is my Christmas gift to myself this year, because honestly, I'm not going to lie, it has been a hectic and a tough year. And I know it's not just me, it's been that for everybody. But that is my gift to myself this year. Shorts. I don't know if y'all have seen, but the new short format is now, it was a minute long, it's now 3 minutes long, which for somebody like me who likes to rant and yap, that is great news, because I can sit there, I can give you the breakdown. It's still not too long to where you're like, oh, I don't want to watch this because it's a 3 minute long video. And we don't want it to be like Vine, where it's only 6 seconds, because Vine for its era was great. But you think now, like TikTok, for example, which, speaking of which, I'm going to link below the link so y'all can get the purple ticket link for those of y'all who have it. Y'all click on my link, I'll click on y'all's link back. We help each other get some money for this holiday season. But, TikTok has 30-second, 60-second videos. Some people, you can go 10 minutes long. Like, I could post half of this podcast on TikTok if I wanted to. We are sitting at, I believe, 245 right now. The numbers always fluctuate because sometimes people unsubscribe, sometimes people, resubscribe. If y'all don't like the content I'm pushing, that's understandable. I respect it. I'm not going to force you to stay here. For those of you who are here, though, I appreciate y'all immensely. Y'all have seen me say for about 3 going on 4 years now, this is what I want to do in life. I want to, make connections. I want to be able to interview athletes, go to games, travel, things of that nature. And I am doing everything in my power to make sure I can make that happen. Even if that means, even after working, long shifts, dealing with, customers.
Waiting for my day when I'm playing